Well, today I'm shooting with a new camera. It's the Polaroid OneStep2, and it's a new instant camera based on an old 1977 design. So I'm in Manchester and I'm just going to walk around and try and take some instant pictures. And I'm really excited about this. This isn't my first time. No, I've been excited before. Well, I've always wanted a Polaroid camera, but I really always wanted one of the folding land cameras, the SX70, a classic Polaroid, but you can only get them second hand and they're way too expensive. Well, not a very good start there. As you may have seen, I took the picture, but no actual pictures came out the front of the camera. So it looks like two pictures were trying to come out at once and it got jammed up. So I put the dark slide back in and took the film pack out, managed to get the two jammed pictures out, put the film pack in, press the button, let the dark slide come out, and a third picture actually came out. I'm hoping that it's the actual film pack that's was the fault there, and it's not the camera, and I've got a faulty camera, but I can only try again. But I have lost 3 pictures already. It's not a good start, but we'll try again. So where was I? Oh yes, the land camera, too expensive. So then a company called the Impossible Project bought Polaroid back from the dead, bought the company, and they brought out their own films and their own cameras. But again, these were too expensive. And then Fuji got into the game with their own Instax cameras and Instax films. The only problem there is that they went for the rectangular format, and a small rectangle at that. For me, Polaroid has to be square. So this is the size of an Instax picture, and this is a Polaroid. A big difference, I think you'll agree. Well, as you can see, that problem with the film pack this morning has left a few smears on the early shots, but hopefully that's cleaned itself up now. The camera's cleared itself out and we'll have no problems from now on. Fingers crossed. But now the Impossible Project have rebranded themselves, started reusing the Polaroid name, calling themselves Polaroid Originals now, and brought out the OneStep, which, as I say, is a copy of an old camera. Unlike their own cameras, this is simple point and shoot. No fancy gimmicks, no Wi-Fi, nothing like that. Simple point and shoot Polaroid in that essential square format. So this camera's got very few buttons. Big red button for taking the pictures. There's obviously the flash above it, and that's a self-timer button. Over on the other side you've got the viewfinder. Below that, that's the plus minus button, so you can lighten or darken a picture. And there's the light meter on that side as well. At the back you've got the viewfinder, the on-off switch, the flash LED, and a micro USB slot for charging, and a button at the bottom is the flash override button, so the flash doesn't go off. At the top it's got the film counter to show how many shots are left, marked with LEDs. Now, I was going to say that I've had so much fun that I've gone to buy another packet, but in this instance today it's because that first packet kind of got ruined, so I have gone into Jessops and bought myself another pack. Now, one thing that may have caused the error is that that pack that I used was an open one. I'd opened it earlier when I got the camera because I'd planned to go out a bit sooner than this trip, and but it was too cold and I thought the cold might affect the developing time, so I waited for the weather to get a bit warmer, and that pack was open, so it wasn't in a sealed foil wrap. It had been opened. Whether that affected it or not, I don't know. So this is a fresh pack from the foil, as you can see. So hopefully we'll have no problems with this one. So we'll load this second film and see how we get on with this one. Well, this camera was quite cheap actually, especially compared to other Polaroid cameras. It was just £110, and the actual film packs are cheaper as well. This one was about £14.99 for a pack, and there's 8 shots in a pack. So what, £1.80 per shot? So it's still not very cheap, but cheaper than it used to be. And that's because it doesn't have the battery within the film pack these days, as the old Polaroid cameras used to have. The battery's within the camera, a rechargeable battery, so you can recharge it by USB. And that's about as modern as this camera gets.
Here we go. Shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it,
Shake it, shake it, shake it like a Polaroid. No, you don't shake it. Well, as you can see, I'm still getting some streaks at the bottom of the frame, which I don't think you're meant to. I don't mind too much because it kind of adds to the low quality of these pictures. They're not meant to be perfect, so any sort of streaking kind of adds to the shot. Well, it may mean I've got a faulty camera, but it may also mean I've just got to clean those rollers a bit more. We've got a bit of chemicals stuck on them from that previous pack, and it's still smearing on the actual new prints. It's something to learn by, something to look into, and we'll just have to see how it goes with that. Well, I have noticed a lot of those shots have been slightly overexposed really, so I'm going to change the setting on here to make the camera underexpose a bit, so we can get deeper colours, more saturated colours, by not washing out the picture so much. Again, we'll just have to see how it goes. Now, I was going to be really clever and show you one of the pictures developing. I was going to film it for 10 minutes, speed it up, so it come down to 10 seconds, so it made a nice time lapse of the actual picture developing. Trouble is, it's a bit too cold and the images or the prints need to be kept warm, so that's why I've got them inside my jacket. And given the hit and miss I've had with exposures, I don't think I'm going to bother that. So instead, here's a slow-mo. Well, I've got one more shot to do, one shot left in this second pack, and I think I've come up with a solution for doing the time lapse. It's too cold out here, so instead I'm going to head inside to the art gallery. Well, my conclusion today is that the shots have been a little bit hit and miss, but it's a bit like the Holga in that respect, in that you never really know what you're going to get, and you can't really expect the perfect picture. Obviously I need to identify whether the camera's at fault for that streaking on the pictures. I don't think it should do that, but it may just be a quirk of the camera and the film that I'm using, but I need to look into that and see if there's actually a fault with the camera or not. But that is part of the appeal of Polaroid, is that the pictures aren't meant to be perfect, so any slight defects are actually a bonus in some respects. But to take away from today, there are a couple of things I need to think about. One, whether I let the flash go off, because it's an automatic flash, but you can override it, so determine whether the subjects I shoot need the flash or not. The same with the under or overexposure. I have to see how that works out with the shots I did, whether they're too dark or too light, how the camera copes in different situations, and also the framing. This camera, I think some of the shots may be slightly off with centrally placed subjects, so I've got to care of the framing. Maybe I have to move the camera because the viewfinder's off to one side, so that's something I have to look at on my pictures and work out what's the best to do there. But it's been a good practice run, and I'm certainly looking forward to taking this camera out again.